All right, here we go. Act 4, Scene 1. We're getting close to the end of the play. You can see on the bar down below that we're looking like we're getting pretty close. Acts 1, 2, and 3 are long. Acts 4 and 5 are short. So Act 4 and 5 will probably be 2 videos each, and we'll see how long they are. But here we are, Act 4, Scene 1. It's Tuesday, and remember that Juliet was promised to Paris because Lord Capulet thought that marrying them would cheer her up. We know that now that we know, of course, that that's not the case, but we thought that that might be the story. And so as we get into Act 4, Scene 1, Paris has gone to Friar Lawrence to ask him to perform the wedding ceremony. And we have some great dramatic irony here because we know why Friar Lawrence can't and won't do that, but Paris doesn't. And so Friar Lawrence is trying to, give Paris some advice, but Paris is like, we're going to get married. It's great. It's going to cheer her up. And then Juliet enters and we have a very awkward interaction between her and Paris. So let's listen in. Here we go.
Act 4, Scene 1, Friar Lawrence's cell. Enter Friar Lawrence and Paris.
On Thursday, sir. The time is very short.
My father Capulet will have it so, and I am nothing slow to slack his haste.
You say you do not know the lady's mind? Uneven is the course. I like it not.
Immoderately she weeps for Tybalt's death, and therefore have I little talked of love, for Venus smiles not in a house of tears. Now, sir, her father counts it dangerous that she do give her sorrow so much sway, and in his wisdom hastes our marriage to stop the inundation of her tears, which, too much minded by herself alone, may be put from her by society. Now do you know the reason of this haste?
Aside.
I would I knew not why it should be slowed. Look, sir, here comes the lady towards my cell.
All right. So again, as Paris said, he hasn't talked about love much because she's crying and sad and whatever. And so he says, Lord Capulet, her father, thinks that's dangerous. So he hastes our marriage. He makes it sooner in order to stop her crying. Friar Lawrence says, I wish I didn't know the reason why this marriage should be postponed, but he says that in an aside. So he says that just to the audience so that we know what he's thinking. And then he sees Juliet. Here she comes, and she's going to do the same thing she has done in a couple scenes where she's going to say some things that are going to make Paris think one thing, but she actually means the opposite. So here we go.
Enter Juliet.
Happily met, my lady and my wife.
That may be, sir, when I may be a wife.
That must be, love, on Thursday next.
What must be shall be.
That's a certain text.
Come you to make a confession to this father?
To answer that, I should confess to you.
Do not deny to him that you love me.
I will confess to you that I love him.
Right. So do not deny to him that you love me. Right. So she came to confess, and Paris asks that. Don't deny that you love me. And she says, I will confess to you that I love him. And she doesn't say who him is. We know she's in love with Romeo. Paris, and of course, doesn't know that. And Juliet says down here, the next line, it will be of more price being spoke behind your back than to your face. Therefore, meaning that she's saying, if I love you, it will mean more if I say it to Friar Lawrence when you're gone than to say it right here to your face, which is her way of getting out of saying it at all, of course.
So will ye, I am sure that you love me.
If I do so, it will be of more price being spoke behind your back than to your face.
Poor soul, thy face is much abused with tears.
The tears have got small victory by that, for it was bad enough before their spite.
Thou wrong'st it more than tears with that report.
That is no slander, sir, which is a truth, and what I spake it to my face.
Thy face is mine, and thou hast slandered it.
It may be so, for it is not mine own. Are you at leisure, Holy Father, now, or shall I come to you at evening mass?
My leisure serves me, pensive daughter, now. My lord, we must entreat the time alone.
God shield I should disturb devotion. Juliet, on Thursday early will I rouse you. Till then, adieu, and keep this holy kiss.
All right, Paris exits, and Paris actually, we learn here, well, we saw a little bit earlier, but we see more here in Act 4 and Act 5. That Paris is actually a pretty good guy, and he has no idea what's going on, of course. So Juliet asks Friar Lawrence, do you have time now or should I come back later? He says, we have time now, and Paris, kind of puts his hands up, God's shield, I should disturb devotion. Excuse me, I don't want to get in the way of you and your faith and this important conversation that you're going to have with Friar Lawrence. So he leaves, and then Juliet just kind of collapses in her grief, in her sadness. And she's going to show how desperate she is here in this scene. Some of my favorite Juliet stuff in the entire play is in this scene right before Friar Lawrence gives her the next plan. So let's hear what she has to say and how Friar Lawrence tries to console her a little bit.
Exit.
Oh, shut the door. And when thou hast done so, come weep with me. Past hope, past cure, past help.
Ah, Juliet, I already know thy grief. It strains me past the compass of my wits. I hear thou must, and nothing may prorogue it. On Thursday next, be married to this county.
Tell me not, Friar, that thou hearest of this, unless thou tell me how I may prevent it. If in thy wisdom thou canst give no help, do thou but call my resolution wise, and with this knife I'll help it presently.
Okay, so she has a knife. She's serious. Friar Lawrence said, hey, I hear that you must on Thursday be married to Paris. I don't think there's anything we can do about it. And she says, excuse me, I brought this knife. We can do something about it. If you can't help me, then I'll help myself with the knife. And so then she talks about how serious she is. She says she longs to die, and that changes Friar Lawrence's tune a little bit when he sees how desperate she is.
God joined my heart and Romeo's, thou our hands, and ere this hand by thee to Romeo's sealed shall be the label to another deed, or my true heart with treacherous revolt turn to another, this shall slay them both. Therefore, out of thy long experienced time, give me some present counsel, or behold, twixt my extremes and me, this bloody knife shall play the empire, arbitrating that which the commission of thy years and art could to no issue of true honor bring. Be not so long to speak. I long to die. If what thou speakst, speak not of remedy.
Hold, daughter. I do spy a kind of hope, which craves as desperate an execution as that is desperate which we would prevent. If, rather than to marry County Paris, thou hast the strength of will to slay thyself, then it is likely thou wilt undertake a thing like death, to chide away the shame that copst with death himself to scrape from it. And if thou darest, I'll give thee remedy. So
she says, I long to die if what you're going to say is not a solution. And he says, okay, hold up. I guess you're super desperate. So if you would kill yourself instead of marry Paris, then maybe you would do something like death in order to get away from it. And so what Juliet's going to do, I love this right here, this speech that she has. What Juliet's about to do is she's going to list all of the things she would rather do than marry Paris. So she's going to give these extreme examples of things she would rather do. And it might be hyperbole or it might be real, but he really shows that she really shows that she's serious. So we'll listen to this and then we'll pause and I'll say what all of those things are.
Oh, bid me leap rather than marry Paris from off the battlements of yonder tower, or walk in thievish ways, or bid me lurk where serpents are, chain me with roaring bears, or shut me nightly in a charnel house, or covered quite with dead men's rattling bones, with reeky shanks and yellow chapless skulls, or bid me go into a new-made grave and hide me with a dead man in his shroud, things that, to hear them told, have made me tremble. And I will do it without fear or doubt, to live an unstained wife to my sweet love.
All right. So there are 6 things I counted that she says she would rather do. Number 1, I'd rather leap from off the battlements of any tower. So leap off a tall tower. Number 2, and now we get to where we can actually see it on the screen here, walk in thievish ways. What she means is like walk around the dangerous parts of town where somebody rich like her is probably going to get robbed. Thievish ways. Number 3, bid me lurk where serpents are. So tell me to like hang out where there are serpents or snakes. Number 4, chain me to roaring bears. Number 5, hide me nightly in a charnel house. Okay. Now this is one that requires a little more explanation. A charnel house is like it's like a grave site kind of. It's like one of those buildings that you might see in a cemetery, or it might be like the catacombs. And so there's a lot of like bones and skulls and whatever. And so she says, hide me every night in the charnel house, covered with dead men's rattling bones and reeky shanks. So they're like smelly bones and yellow skulls. Or number 6, tell me to go into a new made grave and hide me with a dead man in his shroud. So the burial shroud, the linens or the whatever that dead bodies are wrapped in, right? She says, I'd rather go into a new made grave and be, open up the fabric, get inside with the dead body and get wrapped up with it. Those 6 things, she said, I'd do any of those things without fear or doubt if I could live with Romeo, to be married to him. And now Friar Lawrence is going to give the plan. Here's what you're going to do. The first thing she has to do is pretend that she's going to marry Paris, and then he's going to explain how she's going to fake her death. So here we go.
Hold then. Go home, be merry, give consent to marry Paris. Wednesday is tomorrow. Tomorrow night, look that thou lie alone. Let not thy nurse lie with thee in thy chamber. Take thou this vial. Be then in bed, and this distilled liquor drink thou off. When presently through all thy veins shall run a cold and drowsy humor, for no pulse shall keep his native progress, but surcease. No warmth, no breath shall testify thou livest.
All right, so he says, make sure that the nurse and nobody is like hanging out in your bedroom at night. He gives her a vial, this little, little glass bottle with a cork in it, probably. He says, tomorrow night, go to bed, make sure nobody's there, drink this. And then it says, through all thy veins shall run a cold and drowsy humor, no pulse, no warmth, no breath. So when she drinks it, it's going to make her seem like she's dead. She's not, but it's going to make her seem like she is, so that everybody thinks she is. As we continue and begin the next page here, Friar Lawrence will continue to explain how dead-like she's going to seem after drinking this.
The roses in thy lips and cheeks shall fade to paly ashes. Thy eyes' windows fall like death when he shuts up the day of life. Each part, deprived of subtle government, shall, stiff and stark and cold, appear like death. And in this borrowed likeness of shrunk death, thou shalt continue 42 hours, and then awake as from a pleasant sleep.
So catch that. Once she drinks it, she will appear dead for 42 hours. Okay. So a few days. And then once everybody finds her, she'll look dead. And so she'll be able to escape, is what he'll explain. And we'll pause at the end of the whole speech and explain specifically.
Now, when the bridegroom in the morning comes to rise thee from thy bed, there art thou dead. Then, as the manner of our country is, in thy best robes, uncovered on the bier, thou shalt be borne to the same ancient vault where all the kindreds of the Capulets lie. In the meantime, against thou should awake, shall Romeo by my letters know our drift, and hither shall he come. And he and I will watch thy waking, and that very night shall Romeo bear thee hence to Mantua. And this shall free thee from this present shame, if no inconstant toy nor womanish fear abate thy valor in the acting it.
Give me, oh, tell me not of fear.
Okay, so the plan. She drinks it. In the morning, when Paris comes to like wake her up or whatever, because it says he'll come, she'll appear to be dead. Then they'll take her to the vault where they bury all of the dead Capulets. So again, like one of those buildings in a cemetery that belongs to the family. Okay, they'll bury her there. In the meantime, he is sending a letter to Romeo, as it says, or he's about to say that. But Romeo will know the news. That night that she's buried in the tomb, Romeo will come from Mantua in the middle of the night. He'll take her and they'll leave. And then everyone will just think that she's dead. Nobody will come looking for her ever. Life will be good. They'll be ready to move on and live their lives together. So Friar Lawrence says, okay, great. Here's the vial, go away. And he'll send another friar, Friar John, who we'll meet later in the play. Friar John is going to go to Mantua and take the letter to Romeo to tell him, hey, here's the plan.
Hold, yet you gone. Be strong and prosperous in this resolve. I'll send a friar with speed to Mantua, with my letters to thy lord.
Love, give me strength, and strength shall help afford. Farewell, dear father.
Exit.
All right, Act 4, Scene 2, here we go. This is a really short scene, so we're going to include it in the same video here. We've got everybody getting ready for the wedding at this point. Remember, Lord Capulet loves to throw a good party. So he is here with the servants, and he's actually gonna like help get things ready. Juliet in this scene returns. She apologizes and says, okay, I'll marry Paris after all. And Lord Capulet is happy that Juliet appears to be back, appears to be willing to go along with the plan. So here we go.
Hall in Capulet's house. Enter Capulet, Lady Capulet, nurse, and servants.
So many guests invite as here are it.
Exit, first servant.
Sirrah, go hire me 20 cunning cooks.
You shall have none ill, sir, for I'll try if they can lick their fingers.
How canst thou try them so?
Marry, sir, 'tis an ill cook that cannot lick his own fingers. Therefore he that cannot lick his fingers goes not with me.
Go, be gone.
Exit, second servant.
We shall be much unfurnished for this time. What, is my daughter gone to Friar Lawrence?
Aye, forsooth.
Well, we may chance to do some good on her. A peevish, self-willed harlotry it is.
See where she comes from shrift with merry look.
Enter Juliet.
How now, my headstrong? Where have you been gadding?
Where I have learned me to repent the sin of disobedient opposition to you and your behests, and am enjoined by holy Lawrence to fall prostrate here, to beg your pardon. Pardon, I beseech you. Henceforward I am ever ruled by you.
Send for the county. Go tell him of this. I'll have this knot knit up tomorrow morning.
So Lord Capulet is so happy that Juliet has come and changed her mind, apparently, that he says, oh, go send for Paris and tell him, let's get married tomorrow morning. So he's going to push it, and instead of having it be Thursday morning, it's going to be tomorrow, Wednesday morning. Of course, this speeds everything up with Friar Lawrence's plan, which means that I guess she's got to take the vial tonight. if she wants to avoid marrying Paris. So here we go.
I met the youthful lord at Lawrence' cell, and gave him what becomed love I might, not stepping o'er the bounds of modesty.
Why, I am glad on't. This is well. Stand up. This is as should be. Let me see the county. Marry, go, I say, and fetch him hither. Now, for God, this reverend holy friar, all our whole city is much bound to him.
Nurse, will you go with me into my closet to help me sort such needful ornaments as you think fit to furnish me tomorrow?
No, not till Thursday. There is time enough.
Go, nurse, go with her. We'll to church tomorrow.
So Juliet says, hey, nurse, will you come help me find what to wear? And Lady Capulet says, oh, we can wait until Thursday. And Lord Capulet, no, we'll go to church tomorrow. We'll get married tomorrow. And so Lady Capulet's like worried because they've got to get all ready for this party. And Lord Capulet wraps up the scene by saying, hey, I'll stay up all night. I'll do everything to get ready. Just make sure we'll all make sure that he says even that he'll walk himself to County Paris, right? So he is personally going to go tell Paris that tomorrow is going to be the wedding. And he's so happy that Juliet is reclaimed, is back, according to him, which we know is not quite the truth, but whatever.
Exeunt Juliet and nurse.
We shall be short in our provision. 'Tis now near night.
Hush, I will stir about, and all things shall be well, I warrant thee, wife. Go thou to Juliet, help to deck up her. I'll not to bed tonight. Let me alone, I'll play the housewife for this once. What? Oh, they are all forth. Well, I will walk myself to County Paris to prepare him up. Against tomorrow my heart is wondrous light, since this same wayward girl is so reclaimed.
All right, they exit, and then that is the end of Act 4, Scene 2. As we get in here to the next bit, Scene 3 is short, Scene 4 is short, Scene 5 is short. So we'll put those 3 into the next video for Act 2. All right, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed. When we get to our next video here, which will be Scene 4, it'll be a little more getting ready, and then Scene 5 is in the early morning when the plan is underway. So thanks for listening. Until next time.